I survived the insane Lego planet. My minifigures had to battle crazy alien monsters, break through magic worlds with Harry Potter, casting spells, travel through portals, and finally help aliens defeat evil stormtroopers. Our story began with a happy family until everything changed. Jenny, the mother, suddenly fell ill and was sent to the hospital's most critical ICU. It broke the heart of her son Bob and her husband Billy to see her like this. However, the doctor arrived with a mysterious bluish mineral. He said, "This mine could save Jenny's life, but it can only be found underground on an alien planet. The mine has been abandoned for years." It was a risky mission, but Billy knew it was either find the mineral or lose her forever. Billy wasted no time. He immediately began dismantling the equipment, quickly building a spaceship right here on the spot. Within no time, he was ready for takeoff. Billy launched himself into the space and navigated directly to the alien planet, and after a rough ride, he finally landed on the surface. The mineral was buried deep underground, and the only way into the mine was a ladder. Billy climbed down and reached the B1 floor, but he still had to go deeper. Before he could move on, a green river blocked his path. To play it safe, Billy grabbed his lunch, a chicken thigh, and dipped it into the river. Within seconds, the meat dissolved and left only the bone. It was highly corrosive. As a master builder, Billy threw together a boat using leftover Lego scraps. Suddenly, an accident happened. A hidden monster in the wall, lava acid rock, suddenly woke up. It leaped into the river and started chasing him. He was terrified, but he still remembered to pull out the machine gun. It fires explosive Lego studs, and Billy opened fire. But the monster was too tough. It came straight for him, even tearing a Venus flytrap to pieces on its way. The monster came closer and closer. Billy backed up, and he accidentally triggered the stairs contraption. The stair tilted, and the monster slipped back into the river. At that moment, Billy spotted the stalactites overhead and fired at them. They broke and fell right onto the monster, taking it out on the spot. Billy won with his quick thinking. Billy kept going, but suddenly a piranha plant popped out. It made threatening moves, and Billy felt real danger. He took out his multi-purpose weapon, switched it to flamethrower mode, and after a quick barbecue, the piranha was grilled medium well. Jumping into the tunnel, Billy arrived at the B2 floor. And once he stood up, he noticed the skeleton near lying by and a giant, scary face carved into the wall. This wasn't a decoration, it was another lethal creature. It ambushes its prey with a foldable tentacle, squeezing and digesting them until all that remained was a skeleton. Billy decided to play it smart. Instead of attacking head-on, he drew his blade, chopped down a nearby bush, and tossed it onto the tentacle. While the creature got distracted eating salad, Billy slid past unnoticed. But as Billy moved forward, he encountered the scariest boss yet, a mutant flower called the Demogorgon Orchid. This monster blocked the entire tunnel, its massive body rooted both on the ground and above. With long arms and enormous claws, it towered over Billy, making him feel completely outmatched. Obviously, Billy didn't stand a chance against this monster. It was bashed and smashed pretty hard. Just as he was about to be eaten, he took a glimpse and spotted a beehive nearby. In a hurry, he pulled out his machine gun and fired his last bullet at the hive. A lucky shot! The bees were enraged and attacked the flower monster, their natural enemy. While they plucked its petals, Billy used his flamethrower on its claws, which worked perfectly. Eventually, the bees completely destroyed the monster, allowing Billy to move on and go deeper. This was the third underground floor, and also the last. After all this, Billy would finally be able to enter the abandoned mine through that gate. Another trap, that was closed. But the gate still wouldn't open. It was designed to open only when heavy weight was loaded on it. Then Billy took good use of the rock and placed it on the door panel. The weight was then heavy enough to open the gate. Billy arrived at the hallway. At this moment, he was so close to success. He needed a tunnel boring machine to dig the mineral. The garage was protected by a grill, and there were colored stripes nearby. You have to move the grill so the stripes line up to form a password. LOL. Okay, that wasn't hard. A hidden mechanism controlled the door, and the tunnel boring machine was then released. Unfortunately, the machine was low on power. Billy had to find a way to charge it. There was some dynamite on the machine, so he took it and placed it into a nearby wall. After the explosion, an engine appeared. However, a gear was missing on the red axle. Without it, the engine was impossible to start. Billy searched around and looted the toolbox. He found the matching gear. He assembled the gear train and attached the handle, but you have to start the engine manually first. With some hard work, Billy managed to hand start the engine and successfully charged the machine. Once it was running, he hopped on and drove it forward. Along the way, he spotted some greenish glowing minerals that looked similar to his target. But after checking them with his detector, he realized they weren't what he was looking for. But that green mineral was something else. It was the source of every mutant in the mine, including this excavator. Over time, it grew so powerful that even lifeless machines were affected. Now the most destructive boss had arrived. The radioactive excavator rushed towards our mineral hunter, but Billy jumped down and slid past it, taking advantage of its clumsy movements. He dashed to the end of the hallway and unexpectedly triggered a revolving wall. Behind it was a mighty mech, uncontaminated and ready to help. Billy jumped onto the mech and started the fight. After a short adaptation, Billy mastered the maneuver and was ready to beat up the monster. He punched the monster with his iron fist and used saw blade to slice off its parts, and finally landed on the monster, terminating it. To build the revolving wall, I used this mechanism to create a gear rack, ensuring Billy could trigger the mech. After overcoming numerous challenges, Billy finally reached the end. He burrowed into the rock, and as it crumbled, the life-saving mineral appeared. Billy carefully examined and confirmed it was the right mineral, then loaded it into the mech. Finally, he detached the upper part of the mech, which transformed into a rocket propeller. Then Billy flew back up to the surface. He took a large sample from the mineral, thinking it would be enough to cure Jenny. However, he soon received a message from Earth, informing him that Jenny's condition had deteriorated and the entire rock would be needed to save her. But the rock filled the entire cockpit, leaving no space for Billy. Determined to give Jenny a chance, he entered the navigation coordinates and sent the spaceship back to Earth without him. Watching the ship fly away, he felt no regrets about his decision. What he didn't know was that a nightmare awaited him. The entire planet was home to a giant monster, and Billy just awakened it. Will Billy survive? Could he ever make it back home? For now, everything was uncertain. But people always have a way of finding each other again, even when fate forces them apart. This is Sirius Black. During the battle in the Department Mysteries, he fell back into the veil and vanished without a trace. Behind the veil was another world, and the veil was the only portal. Harry Potter was devastated, unable to find his godfather anywhere. Harry was determined to find Sirius, so he went to the witch's dungeon for help. I need a way to fly through that veil. The witch and her skeleton servant used magic broomsticks to make a spaceship for him.
This is the latest product of SpaceX.
Without further ado, Harry Potter steered the spaceship through the veil, entering another dimension. A treacherous planet ruled by a Dark Lord, the evil Doctor Strange. He loved to make fun of people who trespassed his planet, and knowing Harry Potter was coming, he summoned the Skull Phantom to capture him. The Phantom ambushed Harry's spaceship and knocked it down. Harry crash-landed on the planet. Then, Doctor Strange enchanted numerous traps and diversions across the planet, trying to stop Harry from rescuing Sirius. But Harry Potter's goal was clear. He had to save Sirius, who had been taken custody by a monster, the exact one that had put him behind veil. Harry marched on to the first challenge, which was a Minecraft magma cube. Soon it was released, and it jumped to attack Harry. To reduce its size, Harry cast the spell, Reductio, and the magma turned into a smaller size. Reductio again! The magma shrank into the mini size. Now it was tiny and harmless. Off you go! The road ahead seemed safe, but the moment Harry set foot on it, the ground began to shift. It was a magical pinboard enchanted by Doctor Strange, with sharp spikes threatening Harry's safety. Before he could draw his wand, the board tumbled, hurling him back to the ground. Finite! Seizing the moment, Harry cast the spell, halting the board's enchantment just in time. Oh no, it's the Monster Book of Monsters! Wait, why did that thing live in this world? Never mind. Harry raised his wand, stupefied. He set the book back to sleep and sneaked past this monster. Then Harry came across a pavement. It looked ordinary, but don't forget it was enchanted by Doctor Strange. It rolled up abruptly like a powerful wave, blocking Harry's path. This is actually a very effective way to build curved Lego walls. To make it, you only need 1x1 bricks and 1x1 round bricks. Harry climbed up the wall and spotted the path ahead. Despite the pain, he jumped down and pressed on. Suddenly, a massive fireball came rolling straight towards him. Any ordinary person would have been knocked down and severely injured. After all, it was another Lego trap set by Doctor Strange. But Harry was a wizard. Wingardium Leviosa! He shouted, barely managing to lift the heavy fireball just in time. Moving on, Harry spotted a monster lurking in the corner, stupefied. Without giving it a chance to react, he followed up with Petrificus Totalis. The monster turned to stone with the help of this Lego mechanism. Defeated so many challenges, Harry was a little proud of himself, till he ran into the mirage of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange split into 5 illusions with a blink of his eyes and unleashed magical chains towards Harry. Harry was no match for Doctor Strange and was immediately captured. The evil Doctor Strange trapped Harry in a magical cage filled with shackle beams, sharp fans, and intense tumbling movements. Spinning 360 degrees, it left Harry feeling nauseous. Struggling, he managed to pull out his wand and shouted. The cage finally loosened its grip and released him. A crystal wall blocked Harry's path, but it was far too easy for him. Alohomora! The wall unlocked instantly. As he stepped forward, Harry discovered another of Doctor Strange's tricks. He had split Squidward into 3 separate pieces. With a flick of his wand, Reparo, Harry helped Squidward restore back into one piece. Harry finally irritated the evil Doctor Strange, and he turned to the Gargantus octopus. He controlled the giant creature to seize Harry, wrapping its massive tentacles around him and squeezing tightly. Before Harry fell unconscious, he called for his broomstick. Accio firebolt. At that very moment, Harry managed to grab his broom and escape from the octopus. Luckily, he crossed paths with a friendly Hungarian horntail. Harry came up with a plan to defeat the mighty Doctor Strange. He rode on the dragon and turned back to the octopus Doctor Strange. Then he yelled, Dracarys! Wait, what? Is not the game through? Harry scorched the octopus and finally reached Sirius' prison. But just as he thought it was over, the final boss emerged from a coffin, the zombie Doctor Strange. He was so powerful that with a single strike, he punched Harry's spirit out of his body. Harry instantly fell unconscious once his spirit was extracted, and zombie Doctor Strange, with his multiple arms, unleashed all the powerful attacks on Harry. However, the spirit that had been punched out of Harry's body unexpectedly summoned Harry's Patronus. The Expecto Patronum spell unleashed the stag, and he dashed to the back of Doctor Strange, knocking him over and coincidentally purified his curse. Thank you. Doctor Strange regained his senses and led Harry to the monster that had imprisoned Sirius. With just a push, the monster toppled over, and Doctor Strange used a magical saw to break open the lock. Sirius Black was finally rescued and reunited with Harry Potter. Then they planned to leave the planet together. Doctor Strange revealed a hole designed with a Lego mechanism I built to control its aperture-like movement. He cast a spell, opening a portal, one that would finally allow them to return home. Together, they went through the portal. Meanwhile, on the other side of the portal, Thanos was locked in an intense battle with the Avengers. Spider-Man, Drax, Star-Lord, and Iron Man fought hard to stop him, but their power still wasn't enough. Just then, the portal opened and Doctor Strange's team emerged. Doctor Strange instantly joined the fight, while Harry Potter stepped in to assist. Expelliarmus! Harry shouted the spell, and the infinite gauntlet flew straight into his arms. Incausivus. Sirius imprisoned Thanos by turning him into a purple armchair. While the others took selfies with Thanos, Doctor Strange reopened the portal. However, he missed the correct destination again, transporting everyone to Billy's mining planet, where the monster was trying to eat poor Billy. The team used their abilities at the same time and vanquished the monster. Billy was saved and can go home with them together. Back in New York, at the Sanctum Sanctorium, the space adventurers finally returned home. As the portal opened, Billy appeared and immediately rushed to the hospital, where he was finally reunited with Jenny and Bob. Later, Harry Potter also arrived. He found the Hulk on the stair. He still didn't know that Thanos now worked in IKEA. After knowing the whole story, the Avengers decided to return a favor. Back to Hogwarts, Lord Voldemort was destroying everything with his villains. Then Hulk arrived along with Harry. Voldemort cast the curse on Hulk, but it did nothing but just made Hulk feel itchy. Hulk stomped on the floor, sending out the shockwave and knocking down every villain, including Voldemort himself. Lord Voldemort had always considered himself to be a mighty wizard, but he was easily beaten by this Lego mechanism that I designed. Then Hulk punished Lord Voldemort, puny lord, With that, Harry won the Battle of Hogwarts without losing anyone. 10 years later, Billy's son Bob had grown up. One day, while walking down the street, he noticed a crowd gathering. An astronaut was giving a speech about recruiting volunteers for a space mission. Bob was intrigued, especially inspired by his father's adventures. The mission asked volunteers to take the space elevator, which was very attractive. Bob was about to sign up when suddenly the stage rotated. A stormtrooper showed up, revealing the truth of this mission. The space elevator was not designed for scientific exploration. They were planning to invade and take over an alien planet where local aliens knew nothing about this. The stormtrooper asked,
"Who wants to join? Take a step forward."
The crowd, terrified, stepped back, leaving Bob the only one standing at the front. Bob's mind went completely blank.
Very good, new soldier.
Bob felt desperate, never imagining he'd end up in a situation like this. But the stormtroopers gave him no chance, forcing him to go with them. Bob was taken to their base, where he was immediately forced into stormtrooper armor. They didn't even bother to train him. Without delay, he was assigned to the expedition army and sent into space aboard the space elevator. After traveling aboard a star destroyer, the squad was deployed to the alien planet, where the local aliens lived a peaceful, nature-filled life. The planet was covered in lush forests, and the trees bore unique glowing yellow fruits. The friendly aliens remained blissfully unaware that danger was approaching. The Imperial Army assembled and launched their attack. With powerful weapons and overwhelming numbers, they crushed the aliens' defense as if playing a game. They brought a vehicle equipped with a giant saw blade, tearing down all the trees and devastating the forest in no time. Just when Bob thought this was all over, the stormtroopers began capturing the alien residents. They had no intention of setting anyone free, not even these small creatures. Using web shooters, they trapped them all. However, the stormtroopers gathered the glowing fruits and even built a railway to transport them all the way back to their base. But why were these fruits so important? What were they planning to do with them? The answer lay within this building. The fruits were placed on the transport belt, steadily fed into the building, which turned out to be a power plant. These fruits were incredibly rich in energy, and the Empire was using them to generate electricity, which was the true reason of this invasion. On the other hand, Bob decided to help the aliens. He secretly snuck out of the squad and loosened the chains, setting the captives free. Together, they decided to fight back. Bob took the lead, planning to create some chaos among the stormtroopers. Take this! He grabbed their attention by using a stunt loop. When his squad tried to arrest him, Bob grabbed a massive hammer and swung it hard, smashing into spike cubes and toppled the stormtroopers like dominoes. Then he fled to the railway, jumped onto a cart and made his escape. Bob successfully drew the attention of the entire army, but the rebels had a surprise waiting. The moment the stormtroopers got close, an alien sprang their trap. It was only the beginning. Along the railway, the alien rebels had prepared multiple traps for the invaders. As Bob steered the cart, he called out, "Come after me if you dare!" Right on cue, his friends triggered the second trap, diverting the rail toward a dead end. Furious, the stormtroopers continued their chase. The moment one soldier reached the trap, it launched him into the air, sending him crashing back to the ground, completely unconscious. The stormtroopers wouldn't give up. They sent another guy to continue. Bob passed the trap safely, while his alien friends lurking for their next target. As the chaser got closer, they pressed the button. Smash! A giant goldfish knocked the stormtroopers sideways. One more patient for the hospital. The stormtroopers were caught off guard. This time, they sent a dark trooper. As Bob drove toward a slope, an alien hid in the bushes, but a bow and arrow wouldn't harm a dark trooper. The trooper chased Bob up the slope, but suddenly the camouflage dropped, revealing a set of heavy laser cannons aimed straight at him. The cannons fired all at once, blasting the dark trooper into ashes. As Bob cleared the slope, his friends prepared for the next trooper. When the clueless soldier advanced, the rail suddenly shifted, blocking his path. What he didn't know was that TNT awaited him. Boom! The explosion blasted him so high he almost boarded the Star Destroyer, but the freefall ended his dream. Bob was slipping out of their reach, so they had to deploy the AT-RT against him. It fired at Bob but missed, while an alien secretly approached the nearby trap. With a swift chop, the alien felled a tree, taking down the walker. Finally, Bob reached the destination. He and his alien friends had a final gift for the stormtroopers, a friendly fist bump, except the trooper ended up bumping with his head instead. But it wasn't time to celebrate yet. The stormtroopers deployed an AT-ST, far too massive for them to face head-on. They needed a plan, otherwise they were doomed. An alien pulled out a broken lightsaber, while Bob revealed the mineral his dad has brought back, a kyber crystal. Combining it with the high-energy fruits, they began assembling a new weapon together. By repairing the lightsaber with the new kyber crystal and amplifying its energy with the fruits, they created an extraordinarily long and powerful lightsaber. They hid it beneath the AT-ST, and when it stepped over the track, they sprang it. The lightsaber sliced through the AT-ST like a hot knife through butter. The Imperial invasion had failed, and the aliens were finally free. Together, they built a huge statue of Bob to celebrate his brave efforts in saving their planet.